Okay, there we go. YouTube gave me a 1 second panic attack there for a second. Said streaming was not available. Like hell it's not. It's doing it now. Anyway, good morning everybody. We've got Starry Lock, good morning. Thank you for turning on the lights. Dana Reed, good morning. Night Owls. Anthony, Miko Wolf. Let's see, Dana. Sunny 73 so far. Yeah, it's sunny and probably about the same temperature here. It's supposed to get kind of warm today though. But it's nice out here in the shop because I actually remembered to turn on the air conditioning yesterday. So nice out here today. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up as always, and appreciate anybody who joins in the future. We'll name them out as they join in. Let's see. Okay, so it has been a busy morning. I got up early like I always do, and anyway, I went to the grocery store, got stuff for this weekend to cook out. I'm making barbecue, and came back and anyway was preparing the meat. I used a dry spice rub, doing all that, and Diogenes and Bernoulli got into an absolute knockdown drag out fight, and I had to separate them. Good morning, Secure Tech. Had to separate them. It was not good. I had to put Diogenes, or Dobbies as I call him. He goes into the cabinets under the sink, is his little safe space, and I basically had to block the cabinets off so he wouldn't get out. And I ran to PetSmart because I use it's called Feel Away Multicat. And so if you have cats that sort of get along, that always stay in the house, it works wonders. Trust me, it works wonders. I ran out of that about three or 4 weeks ago, and they've been doing okay without it, but today just and so it might actually be a little short of a live today, because I just don't want to leave them in there by themselves for so long. So we might not go the full hour, but we'll see. I'll go in there, take care of them, make sure they're okay, and deal with that. Thank you everybody for all the comments. I haven't gone back to reply to them on the video that I uploaded last night. I think I'm really gonna go with the video resume. Now I'll get more into that in a little bit, but thank you guys for watching. Anyway, so now y'all have seen and heard the hype. I recorded that video that I uploaded last night. I recorded that last Sunday when I recorded the other one. And anyway, I had an interview this past Wednesday morning, and it went very well. And in fact, I start my new career as a locksmith on July 12th. So, yay. It has worked. Yes, I will be doing that full time. The guy who owns the shop is a great guy. He is really easy to sit down and talk with. I was nervous as hell to sit down and have a job interview for the first time in 13 years now. And especially jumping from being a police officer to being a full-time locksmith, yeah, I've still got butterflies. But anyway, yes, I start the 12th. Hey, Secure Tech, good morning. Alpha Centauri, good morning. Brian Field, good morning. Y'all are joining in just at the great news. Appreciate that, everybody. Thank you, Night Owl, Storylock, Dana, Brian. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Very, very cool. So my interview lasted, like, I was there for over 2 hours, and the guy who owns it, he's been a locksmith for about 20 years, and he and his wife own the shop. She runs, helps run the shop as well. And then they have one other locksmith who, she has been with them for several years, I believe. He's had a couple other locksmiths in the past, and has just kind of been taking his time finding a replacement for the last one, who apparently up and quit with no notice or little notice or something like that. But it's going to be Monday through Friday. No on call, no nights or weekends. I mean, if overtime happens, overtime happens. The money is right, and it looks, it looks very cool. I'm excited to go to work for this guy. They stay really busy, busy for the shop. And actually the guy that I talked to the other week that was just kind of looking for some part-time help, he worked for this shop for 10 years. And I actually met him Wednesday because he came back, he went by there just to get some parts and drop off some parts and stuff. And he said, "You're making a great choice coming to work here." And so I feel really, really confident about it. Let's look over here at the comments. Okay, got a bunch of people in here now. Let me go back. Kurt O, good morning. Thank you. Ronald, good morning. Yes, I just broke the happy news, Ronald. Ronald, Night Owl, who else? Jeff Moss, Bill Picardi. They I told them, I told them earlier, but yes, they knew. Secure Tech, thank you. Bears back, good morning. James Randolph, good morning. Good day, Delp. James, hope you're doing well. No live tonight. No worry, James. It'll be all right. Let's see. Now maybe in the next 10 years you might. I don't know, Secure Tech. I don't know. Maybe. I'm right now. I'm just wanting to learn how to be a locksmith. I know that might sound stupid to some of y'all, but it's like when I graduated the police academy and got sworn in, started working as a cop, and there was one of my mentors who just recently passed away. We were talking one night, and he said, "Well, you're gonna have this, and you're gonna have that," and he said, "But you're gonna," he said, "you're gonna want to be a sergeant." I'm channeling his voice. He said, "You're gonna want to be a supervisor sometime." And I looked at him. I said, John, I said, hell, I'm just trying to figure out how the hell to be a police officer. He looks at me. He's driving the car. He just kind of looks at me, looks back, and he says, oh, hell, I guess you'll be all right then. So that's kind of the way I feel now. I'm just trying to learn. Let's see. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. Also, my new boss's name, his name is Jason. So I'll have to clarify which Jason, I guess. Probably call him boss. Yeah, boss. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Just reading your comment, Jason. Yeah. He actually, the way that he does it is once and yes, do something, because there's always something to do. I did learn that lesson years ago. My very first job working at the furniture factory in the warehouse. Even if we were caught up and you had nothing to do, you grabbed a broom and you went and you swept. You did something. So yes, there is always something to do. Hey, Miko Wolf sister. Hope you just heard the good news. If there's anybody else just joining in, yes, I start my new job as a locksmith on the 12th. So not this Monday, but the next Monday. That'll be my first full-time day. I'll go this coming Friday to do some paperwork and stuff there, and then I'll start on the 12th. So that's it's really, really cool. And you know, the way that I think what I was trying to say, the way that he schedules the jobs, he was telling me, is basically what they do is they look at where you live, how far away that is, and then schedule your jobs as, you know, try to anyway, schedule them as you're coming in towards the shop, and then later in the day schedule them as you're headed home. And so it might be you go and do one job that you're scheduled for, go to the shop to restock or you know, do stuff there, and then go back out and do your next jobs or so. So it sounds really good. They coordinate all the scheduling. They're in the office, and then the employees, like, you log in to an app. They have like a scheduling job invoice app, and you log into that from your phone or your iPad or tablet or whatever you have, and then you can actually put that, okay, I'm traveling to this job now, I'm arrived at this job now. That way they keep up with your status, which, I mean, I'm used to. You know, because I do that, you know, when I was doing patrol, I actually built our system that we use to track that, our computer-aided dispatch system. So I'm kind of used to that. Yep, always key blanks to inventory. He has, Jason, his key wall might come close to rivaling yours. Because I don't know the dimensions of yours. To answer your question, Jason, it's from my house where I'm sitting right now to the driveway of his shop is right at 45 minutes one way. And eventually I will get a take-home vehicle, which is very, very nice. Yeah, Miko Wolf sister. Yes. I I think that the area you go to is a little outside of our service area, but you know, I can I can figure something out to help you out. And he's got like all kinds of machines. He can cut keys for anything, program automotive keys, program the vehicles. The other locksmith, and I forget her name. I do. I'm horrible with names. Um, but she's actually kind of the auto guru of the shop, and they will actually have customers come in on certain days just for her. They schedule people to come to the shop so that she can get all the keys cut, programmed, and out there and everything. And he was telling me that the other day they had like 9 customers show up at once, all for automotive. So I'm going to be learning that. Of course, it's a full service locksmith shop, so they do door closers, they install continuous hinges, we'll reinstall a door if it needs to be. So I'm going to be learning about, the door hardware, how to actually do that, which is something I can't learn here in my shop. So that'll be awesome to be able to learn that. And so it's definitely not just rekeying, but they get a lot of rekeys. He said they're about 50-50 split between commercial and residential, and then they kind of have their automotive customers, like I was just saying. 3.5 pieces of 4x8. Night Owl. Actually, the Chanterelle. When I was there, it's so funny you mentioned that. You must have been watching me or listening in to me or something. When I was there, the other locksmith, she had came back from a job and had, a handful of cylinders, and she didn't know which key blank it took, and he looked at it, typed it into their code program, just the brand name that was stamped on the front, which was Chanterelle, and it pulled up like, what was it, the 1045 key blank, is that right? Or 1015? It's either 1015 or 1045. And I saw the shape of it. I said, is that a Seagal key? Because the bow kind of looked like it. Turned out to be a Lockwood key. So that's pretty cool. Pretty funny you mentioned that. And he had some. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Yeah, Miko Wolf sister, that's true. I never know where you'll be. This shop is located in Cornelius, which, if you want to Google that, it's on the eastern side of Lake Norman. Let's see, number of blanks on the back of them. Yeah, Jason, he has. I'm trying to gauge how many pieces of 4x8, because he's got them divided into 2 sections. The automotive are along one, like, I guess it's one like 4x8 here and a 4x8 here for automotive, and then he's got, I want to say, at least 2 other pieces of 4x8, because it's like a little room that he's got it in. So there's one, I think 4, at least 4 pieces of like 4x8. Now his pegboard actually is metal. It's actually not the fiberboard pegboard, which I thought that's pretty cool. And then in the back of the shop, he's got, shelves and shelves of overstock. He has lots of shelves in the back, um, and the little break area, with the coffee machine and sink and refrigerator and kind of snack counter or whatever you want to call it. That's storage as well for stuff. So yeah, very, very cool there. Let's see. That sounds cool, James. Hey Fred, good morning. Just spreading the good news. I start full time as locksmith on the 12th. Let's see. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Let's see. Fonzie. Hey. What's up, Fonzie? Thank you for tuning in. Just kind of sharing the good news. Anyway, I know I put in the title that there is a new Smartkey trick. I've not gotten to try it out yet, though. Basically, the boss was telling me that, because when we were discussing what do I know how to use, what do I know how to do, what do I know how to use, stuff like that. We were talking about Smartkey because I was telling him how, I know how to completely disassemble one to reset it, and Night Owl sent me the better resetter, which we looked at last weekend, and he hadn't seen the better resetter. I think he's seen it. He didn't have one, but he was telling me the way that he does it, because he doesn't like the little cradles. He said that he thinks he has maybe one or two somewhere there in the shop, and he can't really figure out why he has not thrown them away yet. He does not like the cradles. But he was telling me that the way he will do a Smartkey is he will actually pull the cylinder and then just put a blank in there, and I don't know, I'll turn it here just a minute, and read the wafers on there and just visually decode it that way. And he said he's tried teaching other people how to do that, and not really been successful. So I want to try to learn how to do that. So we might try that here in a second. All right, Fred, no problem. Yeah, Night Owl, it was a 10-15. It wound up being one of the Lockwood blanks. And of course that's the American Lockwood. But yeah, it turned out being one of those. That's why the other is called the better resetter. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Night Owl, I mean, like anything, it takes practice. I had never seen or heard of it, but looking at it here, just on the bench, and I'll turn the camera around, and we can play with it, or see how reliable we can get with just the space and depth keys. But yeah, he's got a lot of machines. He's got the fully automatic code machines. He's got semi-automatic duplicator, 2 Blitz machines. One of them is dedicated for Sargent because they do a ton of Sargent. And then he's got, he's got a multi-lock. He's got a Medico, machines for multi-lock and Medico, because apparently up around the lake, which is Lake Norman, apparently a lot of people who move down here from New Jersey, New York, Chicago, those areas, they insist on multi-lock. And I told them, I said, I've been looking and maybe found multi-lock in the wild maybe once, just the areas that I've been in and been able to look and pay attention to. And he sells the hardware, installs them, rekeys them, has blanks for them, everything, which is pretty cool. You hate Smartkey? Yeah, I don't like Smartkey either, but it's common. Well, James, you got it back together and working again, so that's important. Thing with visual decoding like that, if you can get at it at least consistently wrong, you can easily compensate for that. Okay, yeah, Nadio, yeah. I mean, it's like anything. You if you identify where you're screwing up at, you can fix it. Good morning, Kevin. Glad you made it today. Sharing the good news. So yeah, that's kind of it. As far as all this, I'm sure that I will have more, more as I go along. Is one of those things where you just keep going with it and see what happens. And I'm excited though. This is the first time in a long while that I've been really excited to start a job. I've started other jobs and kind of like, how's this going to work out for me? I'm excited for this one. So we'll definitely see how that goes. And again, I'm not going to be killing myself with overtime. I'm not going to be, losing Saturdays. And everything else is right. I'm not going to be living under a bridge, going to do this. So, yeah, it's really really cool. I'm looking forward to it for sure. So, anyway, let's get turned around here to the bench, and we'll just kind of play with this a little bit. With the Smartkey, and then maybe I'm thinking about it. Let's grab a different one that I don't have the operating key to. We'll grab that and kind of look at both of them. So maybe try to we'll learn on one and see what we can do with the other. All right, let's get camera switched around. Alrighty. There we go. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I appreciate everybody. I called Ronald the other day after I got it, and I said, when I go to work on that first day, all y'all are going to be going to work with me, because I wouldn't be going to that job if it weren't for you guys. The help from all you guys, Night Owl, Jeff, Jason, Tyler, Bill Bacardi, all the rest of you locksmiths out there. Rune's not here. I haven't seen Rune, but yeah, Rune. Somebody go run and grab Rune. Anyway, But yeah, I mean, all you guys' help and encouragement and everything, that is really, really, it means a lot to me. Um, really means a lot. So, and you guys, when I go to work that first day, you guys are going with me. Um, I I know you aren't actually going to be here, but you'll definitely be going with me in spirit. So, yeah, we'll get to that. All right, let's see here. Let's see how this works, because I understand the concept, but the best way to learn a concept is to share it with everybody. Pocket women, there you are. There you are. You missed it. You missed the big announcement. But I'm not going to make you wait for the playback. Yes, I started a job as full-time locksmith on the 12th. So, there. Yes, I've said it again 1,000 times today. There's Rune. Good morning, Rune. I guess you just heard the news too. Thank you again for everything, all your help, all that, encouragement, teaching me that when you come across a lock in the field as a locksmith, you don't waste your time picking it. You get the rotary pick. I know, Fred. I say everybody's names and then they show up. I used to do that all the time too. Yeah, Pocket Women, I didn't get the live stream set up until just before. Had some kitties that were fighting, and I needed to go get the little diffuser thing to calm them down. So anyway, let's look at decoding this. You can see when the when this is locked up, you can see the little wafers down in there are all sunk down. And that, along with, that keeps the sidebar locked in place. And, it's not going to be able to move around. When this is the correct key, when you put in the correct key, pull it up, and all of the tops of those little wafers align. And that, of course, lets your sidebar drop in. There's the sidebar. And you can turn it. So then, to decode this visually, you take your key blank, and you can see how some of these pop up higher than others. This one's high, but not quite as high as these. Excuse me. And then that one is sitting down there right about where it needs to be. So you can look at that and say, okay, if that one's down there where it needs to be, then that first cut's going to be, a 0, or, you can try, a 0 or 1 cut on a quick set, no cut. And then you look at your next ones, and these are sticking all the way up. So you can gauge it. I don't think, see, they might be a 6. Put that in, and you kind of look in there and see where they're all kind of down about where they need to be. If you put a 5 in there, these middle 3 are sticking up, but this one looks like it's about where it needs to be. And then, of course, if you put like a 3 or a 4 in there, then these middle 3 are starting to stick up. That one's still too low. And that one looks like it's either right on or a little bit higher. So we can look at this and gauge by our working key, so we have a reference, and see that this 5th cut That that looks like a that does look like a 4 to me. And then these middle 3 cuts here are all on par with the 6. And then this first cut up here is a 1 or no cut. Or we can actually look and see. Might be a 2. Because that would be within max, actually, to do a 2. So yeah, that's a 2. So you can kind of visually gauge that, I guess, and learn from that. Which is what we're going to try to do with this other one. Let's see. Let's look here. Let's look at the chat real quick. Rune, perfect timing. Thank you, Pocket Women. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. All right, so let's get this one, to which I have no working key right now. I mean, I probably have a key somewhere for it, but because this is one of the ones that I took off my house after I bought it. Take all this apart. And of course, the advantage is you don't have to either break out a resetter, or you don't have to completely tear everything apart. You do have to pull this off. What do I have to pull that off with? I did not bring the magic bag of tricks with me. I know I need some pliers, but again, all my tools are out in the car. I don't feel like running to go grab them. But I might have to. No. No, I've got a screwdriver somewhere around here. Use this small one. Tiny flat screwdriver, yeah. That's what I'm grabbing. Good morning, Jeff. Just sharing the good news. All right. See if I can do this without drawing blood. There we go. There we go. Slide that out. Alrighty. So now, let's go through here with a blank. Zoom back in. Let's see. Alright, so we'll take this, take our blank. Okay, so these are going to be a bunch of high cuts, it looks like. except for this first one, that's sticking way up there. So that means that to get it to drop down into place, it'd be a lot lower. So I'm going to say that's maybe a 4. So let's take our 4, drop it down. That looks flush to me, as does space number 4. Looks like it's right on. And 4 might be a little bit lower than that. First one's going to be a 4. So let's grab a scrap of paper here or something. Feeling disorganized today. I don't know why. I normally don't feel disorganized like this, but for some reason. Grab a piece of paper here. All right, so first one is a 4. Look at that second one. I think it's a little bit higher than a 4. So we'll go to a 3. Might need to be actually a 2. Let's try a 2. Okay, yeah. 2 looks good. Second one. Okay. So let's look at that. Let's look at how these line up on this one with the working key. So I want to look and gauge how those are sitting. So that looks like second one is a 2. Third one, let's try a 1. Yeah, 1 for the third cut. Sorry. 1 for the third cut and 1 for the 5th cut. 3 and now 1 and 1. Let's figure out this 4th one. It's a little bit lower, so let's go to a 3. See how that sits. Yeah, I think that 4th one's going to be a 3. So 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. Okay, let's try that. Let's go. Hang on a second for the camera change. Get everybody up here. Sorry guys, I know it's bouncing around. I don't want to try to hold the camera with one hand and run the key machine with the other. All right, so let's go over here with our space and depth keys and cut 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. So I'm going to go through and make, since I don't have a code machine, I use space and depth. I'll cut the 2 position, cut it down. Y'all have seen me do that in videos before. So I'm going to do that over here. Move this chair out of the way, get the lights on. Grab a quick set blank. Then safety glasses. I don't know if you guys can see or not. I wish I could find the parts for my tripod so I could have that where I could bring it over here like I used to. I lost the little like crabby grip clamp thingamajig. It's in the house somewhere, but I don't know where. I have to go find it. But first I'll clamp up the number 2. Because I'm going to cut down to the 2 position in cuts 1, 2, and 4. Because 3 and 5 are both 1s, which are no cuts, or 0s, which are no cuts. So I'm going to cut down to 2 in 1, 2, and 4. And then I'll cut down to 3 in positions 1 and 4. And then cut down to 4 in position 1. Kind of step it down a little bit, each one. Okay, there are those. Then we go to 3. For cut number 4. And also cut number 1. And then change out, we'll put the 4 in here. Now, this, get our lock, put it in, it almost goes, almost, there we go, focus, maybe if I stand over to the side, focus, I think, looking at it, I think cut number 1 is actually too high. I think that actually goes down to a 5. So let's change that. Let's put that in a 5. This does the trick. If it doesn't, then I will just need to practice more. There we go. There we go. Sweet. Alrighty. I'll add, come on now, give it back. There we go. Alright. In, turns, out. Sweet. That is a cool trick. I'm going to use that. Awesome. Let's take these off. Woo! Okay. All right. Let move this back here. Whoops. Y'all don't want to see up my nose. Just take a look at it real quick, putting it back together. I'll look at the chat real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Miko, you were right. First one was at 5, not 4. Thank you guys for all the likes on here. Wow, up to 24 people. Wow. Let's see. Anthony, no, I wouldn't unless you clip it down. When I've got the machine and Miko's just, yeah, 5 earlier. Yeah, I see that, guys. I see it. I was turned around. I wasn't looking at the chat. Okay? But, yes, y'all called it right. Let's see. Awesome, James. We'll look forward to that. Thanks, y'all. End up needing. Okay. All right. So we'll just throw this guy back together. I don't know. All right. Maybe if I put it in the correct way, that would work. Slide our little clip back in there. And again, you can see our decoded key works. Which, of course, that would allow us to turn it and then use a reset tool if we needed it, rekeyed to something different. But, or if it was just the example that the boss gave me the other day was that he did this for one of the padlocks that or a toolbox. It was a toolbox that had quickset Smartkey in it, and he did it for that, just to avoid having to drill it out and replace it. He just pulled it, decoded it, and got the customer on their way. So that is an awesome trick. I will be using that in the future. It seems to be a little more time consuming than using the resetter. I do like the better resetter, but we'll see what works best. Get this up here because we're going to go ahead and wind it up. I told you guys it might be a little bit short because of the kitties having battle. I'm hoping that the feel away has calmed them down. But yeah, this I think this weekend, either today or might come out here first thing tomorrow, and start doing some videos for a video resume. I mean, I'm not looking for another job right now, because I'm getting ready to start one, but it's always nice to be able to have your skill set, and everybody always says keep your resume up to date. And Anthony, I have to say thank you again for helping me with my printed resume. I really appreciate that. You did a great job on that, revising and making my rushed one look pretty well. It made it look good. So anyway, but yeah, I think the video resume thing, to be able for locksmiths, people like me in the future or anywhere, if you put together a video resume, you might be able to start out at a higher pay rate, just by showing, hey, I can demonstrate that I know how to do this, or I know these concepts. So I really think that'd be a good thing. Wow. 23 viewers. Awesome. If I have missed your name, if you've gotten in the chat and I missed saying your name, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for the thumbs up. Yeah, rune decoding perfect for key-to-light cylinders. Yeah. So if you're able to do that, like I guess for a complete building rekey, um, or something like that. Even if you need to rekey it, you can still decode one cylinder, and then that'll make disassembly of the rest of them a whole lot easier. Make it go a lot quicker instead of having to pick or shim every other single cylinder. Um, all right, James Randolph, no worries. Yeah, not really short. I know. I'm about average. Anyway, one in the hand saves 10 in the doors. Yes, I like that saying, Rune. I like that. That might be t-shirt worthy. Somebody write that down. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wind it up. Make sure that I don't have any kitty-geddon going on inside. Hopefully the feel away is doing its thing, calming them down. And I'll be able to actually get my hands on Bernoulli, because he's hard enough to hold anyway. Check him out. I think Dobby's got him pretty good. No like injuries to the eyes or anything, but I just want to make sure, because I don't want any infection to pop up, because that's probably what happened to Aloysius, weeks ago, and I don't want to have to go through that again with them. So anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wind up, and then so I'm going to be cooking while Jason's live, but I'll try to stop in then. Making barbecue for the 4th. So if you're here in the U.S., happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Go out, show your spirit, don't show your ass, and have a great weekend. Be careful, be safe. Don't set your house on fire, and don't drink and drive. Stay at home and get drunk. That's what I do. Stay at home, get drunk. Don't worry. And if you stay sober, still be careful on the roads. But yes. Anyway, folks, again, thank you for all the well wishes. Excuse me, about got the hiccups there. Thank you for all the well wishes, encouragement, and teaching me knowledge that you guys have passed along to me. I really, really do appreciate all of that. And on the 12th, you guys are going to be going to work right along with me, right here. So thank you again, everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. Yes, Rune, it is the 4th of July there tomorrow as well. I get that. It is, however, not the American Independence Day there in your country. Which, I guess you could celebrate it there if you wanted to. But anyway, pocket women, I gotta make sure they didn't beat each other up too awful bad. They were in a hell of a scrap this morning, and it actually reminded me of a couple fights I've been in over the years where there's just no noise other than thumping and rolling. So I knew it was serious with that. And they were doing it under the bed, so I couldn't grab them, which I know is dangerous, to reach in and grab two cats that are fighting. I would never do it with any cats other than my own. And even then, I've gotten eaten up before. So... Yeah, James Randolph, if you happen to be in my neighborhood and you happen to know where my neighborhood is, stop by for some barbecue. Homemade barbecue. Anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay happy, stay out of trouble